We are going to break down everything you need to scale your brand and add another zero. Before you think I'm just another one of these guys, I'm 36 years old. I've been doing this for the last 6 years. I charge anywhere between $2,500 for a single session and $10,000, $20,000 for different containers with clients. I also do $100,000 plus retainers with clients where I even look at equity deals. So all that aside, if you have a talent, if you have a gift and you feel like you're just attracting clients that do not appreciate the gift, you get the objection of the price point being too high all the time, you even just struggle to say what you do. You need to understand the problem that you actually solve. Like most people think, let's look at a photographer for a second. You gotta understand that that client wants those photos for a specific reason and a specific outcome. So you don't take photos, you create outcomes for customers through your photography. Just like a coach. Most coaches think, or personal trainers, let's just say, think that they sell personal training or coaching. But reframe again, you don't sell personal training and coaching. People are investing into personal training and coaching to get to a specific outcome. So you sell an outcome through your personal training and coaching. You can do this through every single product, even something like coffee. You don't sell coffee, you sell the outcome of what the coffee is going to do for that person. So when you understand you're actually selling a feeling and solving a problem, your whole messaging changes, making it clear to your customer what you actually do for them. Because man, I've spoken to so many entrepreneurs over the years. So many people are talented, but they just lack the understanding and the clarity of how to actually communicate what they do for people. And then they go and sign up with a multitude of different coaches, courses, workshops, retreats, follow trends, follow hype, fall to things like AI, thinking that all of these things are going to answer it, but you just needed to get the core right. So understand, you provide outcomes and work on, for example, asking yourself, what outcome does your customer really want? Who is your customer? And then how your service and craft is a vehicle or a bridge to get to that outcome. That is going to be your message. And that is something you then practice through content. Until you get the message right, like your guess is your best guess. You got to validate. Everything needs to be validated and put out there to see what actually lands. And if you're in your head so much about, oh, what will people think of me? This thing looks silly, etc. You're not going to put out enough reps to actually identify what your style is. So the game with content is once you get that message right, you understand that you provide outcomes and you have some form of a messaging that you want to test to the market, every single day, post on your stories. Post on your stories and just test with consistency what lands. Create different styles of content. Because again, one thing is messaging, but you got to keep in mind, like you're playing the algorithm of social media, visual hooks, auditory hooks. There's so much random things that capture attention, especially if you're scrolling on Instagram, that you need to become a master of the social media algorithm, which is just common sense and behavioral patterns. If you go onto your feed, for example, we'll do this together. Have a look at what you're thinking as you go through each. What has a visual hook? What has an auditory hook? What has a lot of shares? What has a lot of likes? Instead of just scrolling to consume, doom scrolling, you can actually scroll and educate yourself every time you're on your phone. And that can make you a master of giving you more ideas of different styles you can practice. Do you need to invest in a camera like this? Do you need to have an iPad? Honestly, this is one of the first times I'm doing this style of content. And again, I'm just testing out my style because I'm clear on the problem I solve, outcome that I provide for people. I can scale any founder, any entrepreneur, any business. I can help them add another zero onto their price point. I can get them to create a high ticket offer and get them their first couple of clients. I can scale that. I can help them build an app. There's so many things I can do. So I am literally, as you can see, exploring the style that I'm going to push through consistency after being clear on my problem and practicing my message. Don't measure likes and views and shares and engagements. Of course, it's important. Instead, measure the amount of days of consistency you post and the amount of posts you actually put out there. If your Instagram post, for example, has 100 posts, set the goal at 200 posts and you're just going to explore consistency and style until you hit 200 posts or 200 days or 200 videos on YouTube, whatever your number is. So once you get that machine going, I guarantee that even just putting yourself out there like this, you're going to start to get people finally inquiring about what you do. You seem to be finally selling a solution to the problem that you know they have, and now they feel like they can actually trust you because you resonate with them and you're selling the solution to their problem rather than everyone else out there who is selling their offer, selling their products, selling their services. So organically, you're going to start to attract the kind of people that watch you, that follow you, that inquire. And now is when your offer needs to be solid. You need to understand exactly how to position your offer, position yourself, ask the right questions to get the data points to then position you and your offer as a bridge from their problem to the other side where they've got the outcome, they've got the solution, etc. And you also need to understand how much it's actually worth, because this level of service is already going into this high ticket world. If you want to just automate something and make it easy and lazy and run some ads and create an ebook, let's be real, that's probably like a $49 service. And if you've packed that ebook up and there's maybe video modules and a community and weekly calls, you might break that 1997 course sort of milestone. But if you're going to provide anything, 5K, 10K, 15K, 20K, which I've been doing for the last 6 years, you need to provide a bespoke service. Let's be real. That's the way you're really going to ensure that you deliver at that price point. Because keep in mind, you can get the money. You can just have an amazing marketing machine and get a 10K offer and get a whole lot of people signed up. But if they don't get the value, your LTV, your lifetime value of that customer, ends at 10. Whereas for me, majority of my 10K clients end up becoming continual 1-year retainers at the end of it, or they go off and have a break and reset and come back and do another 10K container with me. LTV of my clients are so much greater because of my positioning, yes, my price point, but everything at this price point for me is personalized, and I actually focus on delivering, hand-holding, and being in their corner through it. And this is the misconception I want to break for you. At this price point, you don't need to add more things. You just need to be involved more. They require your attention, your presence, your energy, rather than a whole lot of shiny bells and whistles. I literally just have Zoom calls, WhatsApp messages, that's it. No community, no Discord, no 1,000, 2,000 member private group, no school, nothing. Just a clean, seamless, easy system. So let's just zoom out for a sec before I show you the final piece. For you to add another zero onto your brand or scale it in whatever way, this is obviously just a hook, but it's the truth. Clarity is the number one thing. You need to understand that you solve problems and you provide outcomes. You need to practice this message of yours by putting it out there through content. Content, you need to be consistent with it. You need to consistently put things out there to understand what actually sticks, and therefore slowly develop your style. Just like you're developing a physique, once you start building that physique, it's gonna develop itself. From there, you're gonna get a lot of inquiries, and people are gonna actually finally start finding you instead of you having to, run ads and do all these trends to try and desperately find people. Now you practice your positioning. You practice asking the right questions. You practice literally positioning you and your offer as the bridge to where they currently are to where they wanna get to. And then you exercise your price point. You understand how much your price point is actually worth. 5K, 10K, 20K, whatever. Understanding the price point that is perfect for you, understanding how to position that, understanding how to communicate that to your customer, why they need to pay, and then making sure you actually deliver at that price point. And then finally is your identity. Like, you actually have to be the caliber of that person. You can't provide a high premium offer if you get back to messages after 24 hours. There's an element of being on standby. There's an element of energy you always have to bring to your customer. A certain level of positivity, a certain example you gotta be. Because whatever you're preaching to your customer, you have to be the living example of that. It's just like in life, right? Kids follow your example, not your words. Same as your customer. So if you're telling them to do all of these things and you're not doing it yourself, it's not gonna work. You need to be the identity of a person that sells high ticket. Doesn't mean you gotta wear a 3-piece suit all the time and hire supercars. I've done that to realize that it's actually just a standard, a personal standard you hold for yourself, a mentality, a perspective, morals, values. And these are things that have to be conditioned. You literally gotta condition yourself into the 10K vision, the 20K vision, the 100K vision, the millionaire, whatever it is. Like, that's an identity you have to assume. And you will only truly know how to assume that identity through proximity and exposure of those people. And that's where accountability comes in. Like, even just how I hold myself, the confidence of me speaking on camera like this, the fact that I have been posting on Instagram since 2013, you're gonna notice even just the style and the consistency of these YouTube videos starting to drop. That is a certain standard that I've seen from people crushing it in my field that I just adopted. Like, if you want to have literally my life or earn what I earn, emulate this. Emulate the standards. You don't have to chuck on a hat and a black tee, etc., and hire out a space like this. You just got to emulate and show up like me with the standards, with the conviction, with the voice, with everything. So let this be a reset for you. These steps over here is everything you need to add another zero, to scale, to break through whatever stagnant point you have in your business right now, your brand, whether you've been doing it for a long time and you're just tired of these time-wasting customers, you want to attract customers that are actually happy to pay, and you want to finally get past this content block and just everything you've been stuck on, adopt these things. Like rewatch this again, take some notes, etc. And if you want me to personally take you through this whole process, description has how to work with me. We can jump on a strategy session and just see if you are a fit to work with me or if I can just give you some value. So check out my other videos for more mindset perspective shifts that are going to help you elevate and become that best version of yourself. And until the next one, peace.